This podcast explores the one thing we all crave all day, every day of our lives: connection. Human connection in all its forms, from our need to be connected to ourselves, to something bigger than ourselves, the world around us, and the people in it, for friends and lovers. Welcome to Connecting with John Keegan. Every man must know his vision, because when your life is led by your vision, you will lead others into your life. This is Connecting with John Keegan, and today we're talking about vision and the power of being a visionary. And we all of us are visionaries. It's just how well are we visioning? And are we really practicing that part of our imagination to specifically create the life we want to live, the experiences we want to have? And I think that's so powerful to think of, that I am creating my own life experience, and I'm creating experiences for all the people that come into my life. It's such a powerful thought to know. It's empowering to know. And it also requires us to step it up. And there's ample evidence in science, even in spirituality, in your own life experience and the experiences of people you know, that what you feel over and over, what you keep thinking over and over, the thoughts you keep saying over and over, the ways and the actions you keep taking over and over are creating your very life experience in every way, from the friends that you're finding in your life, your relationships, the depth of them, the work experiences you have, the fulfillment you feel in your personal dating and work lives, health lives, that we are actually creating the experience we're having. And it really is all about experience. It is an experience you're having. And these are experiences we want to have. And that's what you want to ask yourself every day. And that's something I ask myself every day, is what do I want to experience today? When I meet up with a new person or a friend for a new meeting, I think, how would I like this experience to go, instead of just bumbling into it and fumbling through it and then it's over? Because then I'm a more awake, I'm more present, I'm more intended in my dealings with everyone else. That doesn't mean I'm controlling it. It doesn't mean I'm plotting every move. It just means, how do I want it to go? I want to envision that. And it's so important, because so many times we don't do that, and we just become a reactor to everything. We're just reacting to the wind blowing. We're reacting to people honking their horns on the street. We're reacting to other people's energy, and whenever negative energy, and that makes it very easy for us to end up in a bad mood or in a bad way when somebody else who's bringing a low frequency or anger or despair or whatever, and they throw it our way, whether we know them or not. It happens all the time. And when you live in a place like I do here in New York City, or any big city, or you just hop in your car anywhere in the world and you start driving, you start running into people you don't even know and reacting to their energy, and the greatest thing I think in New York is just walking down the sidewalk or driving in a car somewhere, and somebody starts honking, or somebody rides up on your ass, or somebody's not moving in front of you. So for us here in New York, it's the same thing. We got somebody, who's driving like, who's walking like, it's Sunday afternoon, and they're in a country ride, and you're like, hey, it's Wednesday afternoon in New York, I got somewhere to be. And you start having the same thoughts you have when someone's driving too slow in front of you. So So we all have it all the time, and it's easy to get reactive in situations like that, or reactive with a partner or a friend, or reactive just to the news that's coming in, which is really a challenge to escape the net, which is basically pretty much designed to make you hysterical, or designed to feel despair and the end of the world and grab your attention in any way it can. And it's not even necessarily news. It's Twitter feeds, Facebook feeds, Instagram feeds with girls' asses bouncing back and forth. All you can react to all those things all the time and lose track of your vision. So the first thing we got to do, and this is really serious, the first thing we have to do is be clear about the vision we have for our life. And the good news is, when you start to get clear and you start to write it out, like, what's my vision for my health? You know, is your vision for your health, you want to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger? Or is your vision for your health, you want to be lean and cut and just feel good in your body? And, or is your vision whatever it is? Like mine isn't that I want to look like Arnold. That's not my vision. Mine is more I just want to feel great in my body. I want to be lean, and I don't want to feel bloated. I felt bloated so many times in my life. I want to feel like energy all day and not like my body's digesting. I want to feel in my body. So I like to do some push-ups, some sit-ups, some light yoga, pretty much on a daily basis, and that look that my body looks like now is pretty much what the body that I imagine that I want. And there's always room for improvement and things I could do more, but I do that through diet and exercise, and I vision myself that. What's your vision in your health area, the way that you eat? What are the habits around that? How do you see yourself manifesting in the world? So we want to vision out our health. We want to vision out our wealth. How much money is it important for you to have to feel good about being you? So that's something you want to vision out. How do you want to be making money? What do you want to be contributing to the world? Is it important for you to contribute to the world? These are things for you to vision out. What is that experience you want to have in your finance life and in your work life? What are those experiences? And of course, what are those experiences you want to have in your relationship life? And this is very important. You have your relationship to yourself. What is your experience? What's the relationship you have with yourself right now? What are you reacting to? Comparing yourself to people, despairing all day? Are you reacting to what you're not, what they have and you don't have, and how much they achieved by such age and you didn't? What is the relationship with yourself you'd like to have? What is that relationship with yourself you'd like to have? That's a serious question. For example, if most people are berating themselves, beating themselves up because they're not good enough, wouldn't it be nice if you had a relationship with yourself where you were your own champion and where you were there to be gentle on yourself and easy on yourself and know that you're doing the best you can, and believe that by being gentle and kind to yourself, you'll actually create a better experience in your life, that you can actually get to the point where you're feeling good, where you're feeling good about being you, and that you could trust that being gentle and kind to yourself is actually going to get you there. That doesn't mean you don't have habits and disciplines, but it also means you don't beat the goddamn hell out of yourself day in and day out. I've done it. I do it a lot less than I've ever done. And, every day I've got to learn to be, to gentle those voices on myself, and I've gotten quite good at it. And it's a nice feeling. Relationship with yourself. So, what is the relationship you have with that which is beyond you? Your God, your source, the universe, as people say, Mother Nature, the big powerful forces beyond your mind. What is your relationship to that? And that's an important thing. Powerful forces beyond your own mind. The most neurotic people I know are people who don't believe in anything besides their own mind. Therefore, they're neurotic as hell because only their mind can solve the problems that are before them. But when they, give up a little bit that there's something going on beyond their own mind, and there for sure is, then a lot of people relax. They find great ease in the fact that their mind isn't going to solve all the world's problems or even their own problems. So what is your relationship to that? What is your vision for your relationship to your source? Like, I am aligned with nature. I am aligned with my source. I am one with my source. That's a nice vision to have. I am one with my source. I am one. When I sit down and I meditate and I feel that power of stillness and infinite intelligence, I am one. That's my vision for myself, that I be one with that power as often as I can. And I remind myself that. So when I don't remind myself of that, and I don't meditate, and I get lost in it all, I get more susceptible to reacting to the world and being, as Eckhart Tolle would say, the little me, the reactive me, the tiny me, the disconnected me is more walking around. So it's really important to look, and write these things out. What's my vision for my relationship to myself? What's my vision for my relationship with my source? What's my vision for my relationship to the world around me, to the now, to the present moment? What is your vision for that? For a lot of people, all it is all day, and I've worked with thousands of people, all it is going from one place to another in a haze. One place to another in an obsession with the future. And you'll see those people walking down the street with their heads lurched forward because they're trying to be in the future and they're not here in the now. And maybe you've done that. I have seen people I've walked with men and women both who didn't even notice, who wanted to meet new people, couldn't figure out how, and didn't notice that people were actually checking them out, looking at them, tuning in, open to them. Didn't even see it because they're so in their head all the time, so tuned out that they don't engage their observations in any way. It's a miracle they don't get hit by buses and cars because they're obsessed with something in the past or worried about something in the future, and that's it. So they don't see the world around them. So what is your vision for being here now? Obviously, a way to be here now is through your senses, to actually tune in, be on your breath as you're walking, focus on your breath, and just notice the colors and the shapes of objects and storefronts and clothes that people are wearing, and notice the emotions emanating from people's eyes. Take time to tune into the meaning of the way that people hold themselves as they walk in their body, the meaning of the clothes they chose and what it might say about them, and why, what that, find the humanity in that, and that makes you more present and more connected to people, which is the next thing. What is your relationship to people? Just friends, to just the people you meet. For example, if you go to your favorite cafe every day and you have those exchanges, those energy exchanges with the people behind the counter, they can be positive and powerful. What is your relationship there? Is it just a transaction? When you go to the supermarket, when you go to the cafe, when you deal with anybody in any way, is it just a transaction? Give me this for that? Is that your relationship with the people behind the counter? Or is it maybe an actual more human relationship where, there is a transaction on the surface, but we can actually also have a powerful energy exchange where I may be able to uplift them or make a connection with them in that moment. I may be able to have fun. So, for example, there's quite a lot of ways to do that. But one is just when people say, hey, how are you? And you actually give a real answer. Like, well, you just stop and you think and you say, I'm actually doing pretty good today. I've been fairly productive. And, after I have this tea, I'm gonna reflect for a moment, and then I'm gonna get back to it. What about yourself? What have you been up to? When you're not here working, or how's your work day been going? Simple. That can be a very human thing to do, or you can make a fun joke, There's a lot of ways to do that. And at one point, if you're going there every day, I urge you to learn the people's names that you're having these energy exchanges with. I've done that, talked to tons of people and didn't even know their names, but it's so important. They know your name because they have to write it on the cup or something. So get their names, be human, be cool. So that's like your relationship to these people that you deal with all day, but they're not even prime relationships. But a lot of times you spend more time with them than you do with with other people. So what are your relationships like? What's your vision like for your friendships? What's your vision like for your friendships? What kind of friend are you? What kind of friend is the ultimate version of you in your vision? What kind of friend is the ultimate version of you in your vision? Is he kind? Is he caring? Is he a great listener? Is he supportive? Is he loyal? Or she? I'm sorry if I'm making it all sound like he, because I really want this to be for everyone. So, in the beginning when I said every man must know his vision, every woman must know her vision. She leads people into her life through her vision. She leads the people she'll date into her life. She leads the people, the work encounters that she has in her life. She creates her entire life experience. So it's not just a man-woman thing, nothing like that. It's a human thing. And we are visionaries, all of us. And all of us have the ability to be magicians, to use our imagination and create magic in our lives. We really, really do. And that's exciting. That means there's work to be done. And a big part of that is using your imagination to create your life. So again, back to our relationships with our friends. What kind of friends are the friends we have now? Really the friends that bring the best out of us, the friends that have us feeling great about who we are and also aspiring to be more, friends that see us as more than we are, when we're stuck and we're down, friends that see us and help us become our greatest version of ourselves. And the help means, they're supportive in some way, that they're really there for you to be your best. Or your friends, a lot of times this is true, a lot of times, they're like a relic of the past, but you have a history together and you keep showing up. Or sometimes you may have a friend and every time you leave, your so-called friend, and you feel smaller, you feel less than more. And you want to feel more. You want to feel good around your friends. You want to feel lit up around your friends. You want to feel like your friends get you and see you. And if you've outgrown your friends, it can be hard to leave them, but it's important to, you don't need to have a friend breakup. You can just move on and you start finding friends around your new interests and passions. So if your vision for your relationships isn't being fulfilled, you will find new friends around interests and passions. So, for example, if it's something to do with being an entrepreneur or an artist or an actor, or you'll find new friends in those groups. And that's some of the ways. Now, I also teach people to meet people anywhere and everywhere. I've made friends, actual great friends, on many occasions, in cafes, things like that. Also, of course, many lovers that way, and girlfriends. So that's really important. So if your vision for your friendship isn't ideal right now, you really have to ask yourself, who are my best friends? Who are the people? Who are the people I want to be hanging out with? Who are the people that I am in the same frequency of, but I haven't allowed myself to be there? And then set out to meet them. Lovers, relationships, very personal, intimate relationships. What is your vision for that? It's so important in our lives. And again, I'll go back to that all our relationships that we'll have, every single one, will always come back to our relationship with ourselves, your most important relationship. So don't forget that. But what is your vision for your relationships with lovers, boyfriends, girlfriends? What is that? And what is, you being in that relationship? I'd like you to check with yourself. What kind of lover are you? What kind of person, what kind of boyfriend and girlfriend are you? Are you loyal? Are you kind? Are you uplifting? Are you supportive? And really start there. How do you want to be in a relationship? How do you want to love someone? And how do you want to be loved and adored? And what would be ideal to you? To be loved, to be adored, to be nurtured, to have amazing, mind-blowing sex, to feel fulfilled in the sex department is a very powerful thing. But also to feel fulfilled in being understood, that someone gets your sense of humor, that someone understands your need for touch and affection, whatever it is you specifically need. These things are so important for you to vision it out, for you to really see it. See that person. See how that person makes you feel, and allow yourself to feel what that feels like. And this comes into the next thing. So knowing your vision, looking at all those areas, write it down, talk it out, say it out loud, say it into a voice recorder, just to keep saying it and keep imagining it. And imagine it out all day, every day, as much as you can remind yourself to. And allow yourself to feel what it would be like to have those experiences, rather than say, there's those experiences, I don't have them, and feel bad. Same thing as a man walking down the street, seeing a beautiful woman, saying, wow, what a beautiful human being, I want to meet that person, and then immediately not meeting them and feeling the pain of not having them. So taking the appreciation of something, some beautiful person, and then feeling pain for the lack of it. And the same as a woman seeing a guy who seems really great and everything, but then seeing her friend having a great relationship, and then saying, I don't have a relationship, feeling pain about it, feeling disconnected about it. Instead, I want you to take time. Daydream. Imagine what it's like to have that beautiful person staring you back in the eyes and saying, you are a great person. You are a great man. You are a wonderful woman. And that's what I want you to imagine and feel that. And something you can do every day. There's so many ways to do this, and you have to find a way that's great for yourself. A great thing to do is sit in a chair, close your eyes, pay attention to your breath for a while, and imagine out these things, anything you want, and allow yourself to feel good. Like I have on my website, for dating, I have very specific guided visualizations that allow you to see yourself being the person you want to be, see yourself as a social person, see yourself as someone who's dating, someone who's being loved, someone who's having mind-blowing sex, and you feel what it feels like and allow yourself to feel that experience and how good that feels. So, and of course, there's your relationship with money. And I want you to vision out all those things as often as you can and see yourself being in those situations. Allow yourself it. Give yourself this experience. Give it to yourself. You don't have to wait for the world to deliver the goods. Give yourself the experience of, wow, walking down the street, I am rich. And maybe some people are extremely rich, and it's an experience I already have. But imagine but I know people who have many millions of dollars in the bank but feel not wealthy because they need another zero. And so give yourself that other zero or two on the end of how much money you've saved, and walk down the street for 1 block. Drive down the highway for a mile and allow yourself to imagine that zero is in your bank account. You've already got it. Give it to yourself. Give yourself the ultimate lover. Imagine you just had sex with that person and they're texting you, please come back, I miss you, and walk down the street or drive a mile. Give it to yourself. You are a visionary, and allow yourself to be the creator of the experiences you have in your life and to create wonderful experiences for the people in your life. There's so many more things I could say about this, just to talk. How about where you're living? What's your relationship to your home? When I was growing up, this true story, when I was growing up, I had first shared a bedroom with my brother, and then we would fight all the time. He was just a couple years older than me. We're in this little tiny room. We would fight all the time. So I had to get out of that room. So then I would sleep in what we called the playroom. That's the room where the TV was, the family TV. And in that room, my brother and sister would wake me up on Saturday mornings, where I would wake up with my brother and my sister sitting on top of me watching, Saturday morning cartoons. So I'd still be sleeping. They'd be sitting on me because I was sleeping on the couch. And I grew up like that. So I never really had a room until I was 16 years old. And then, we finally built me a room. So in many ways, that's affected my whole life. I've lived in many places, but it took a long time for me to really have a great relationship with my space in my home where it felt like it was mine. I've often found myself in situations where I was never really at home. And you have to wonder why I kept attracting those into my life over and over again, why I kept feeling comfortable being in situations like that. So it took me time to work that out and have an ultimate vision. What is your vision with your bed, with your home, with your work space? So look at your vision for that and your relationship to those things. Well, guys and gals, you've been listening to me. I hope I've been somewhat inspiring or helpful in helping you create your own vision or think about your vision. Today, I've said the word vision a lot, and I'll say it a lot more. Connecting with John Keegan.